Studio110.live back at it, man. Check us out on Instagram, Studio110.live. Make sure you do whatever you got to do to come out and support the big show online on our streaming. Man, we're doing it Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. It was a good weekend. We had Abigail, Miss Washington, USA's farewell event here yesterday up here at our headquarters. Had a whole group of people up in here. It was a good turnout, good food, and we're hoping all the best for her on a high success level. We want her to win Miss USA and bring that crown right back here to good old Washington. You know, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted there. I got multiple things here being sent to me, but overall, good weekend. And excited for the week and all the guests on the show all this week, man. And big shout out to my guy KJ Saka. He reached out to me over the weekend. He was on the air with me Thursday, and he said by him coming into the studio on Thursday, it really helped his show Friday night at stage. So that was good to hear. That was really good to hear from one of the biggest drummers in the world. So you know what? That shows the power of live podcast shows and radio shows here, and that's what we're doing. Got another big show. Got a lot of artists today, and we're gonna kick it off properly because you know it is Mic Drop Monday, so we gotta stay proper in accordance with the theme of the show. I think I have my first guest here on the line right now. Hello, Studio110.live. Do I got Alex here and Sean and Xander? Hello.
Yeah, this is Alex speaking of Sean and Xander.
How's it going, buddy?
Great, man. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling me from?
I am calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. What is it, about 104 down there right now?
Yeah, it's going to be.
How do you
out today, though.
How do you deal with the heat down there? You just, I mean, without AC, you're dead, right?
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of studio time.
A lot of the AC down there must just be pumping left and right, and the AC bills must be just ridiculously high. You know, for summer months down there. I've been down there a few times, and I'll tell you, all I want to do is just continue. I want to take like 10 showers a day. You walk outside for 30 seconds, you're sweating like you're in a freaking sauna.
It's definitely a little bit different than Seattle, where I just moved from. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy too. We'll have to connect you up with him. Maybe you two could have a conversation. But Gianni from Clubbin' 101, he just moved down there as well, and he'd be a good guy. He does a lot of in the nightclub industry, so he might not be bad for you guys to connect up. So you're the first guest on the big Monday afternoon show to kick off the week, and let everybody know a little about you, man.
Right on. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, my name is Alex Luth. I'm one half of a trance production and DJ duo. We're originally from Seattle, Washington, and my partner's name is Sean Gorey. We met up at Western Washington University, and there we discovered our passion for trance and DJing, and pretty much just kept everything going since then. I think that was in 2009.
Nice. And so the main reason then for you to kind of leave Seattle and and kick off kind of a new journey for yourself was just bigger market obviously down there, more happening for what you're trying to ultimately put out there on a national projection.
It's not necessarily a bigger market. In fact, Seattle has a fantastic dance music scene down there. It's become a global destination for trance, in part thanks to this group called the Seattle Trance Alliance that throws weekly shows down there at a club, and also USC events. They have some nice trance events. So there's a thriving scene in Seattle, and that's something that I'm hoping to bring to Phoenix, and that I've actually started to do with running my own nights here. But the primary reason for moving to Phoenix was, there's an opportunity for personal growth, adventure, and of course to expand my music career. When you're an artist, studio time is like one of the most important things you can have, and that's just time to work on your craft. and make music. And down here in Phoenix, the cost of living is absolutely fantastic. I was able to quit my job and pursue music full time down here, and that's something that I think is going to really progress us as our career develops.
No, absolutely. I know you can get a pretty nice house down there for relatively cheap with a swimming pool and a nice neighborhood near a golf course, and do just fine. So that and the Phoenix market and the Las Vegas market are definitely still untapped to a degree. And I've had several friends move down just for that one reason, that there's an area actually in Vegas about 15, 20 minutes. From the strip, that you can get, like, 5-bedroom house with a swimming pool down there for $450,000 roughly. So I'd imagine it's similar. I'd imagine it's similar down in the good old Phoenix market. So
yeah, I'm noticing a lot of trends down here were things that I picked up in Seattle, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago before Amazon moved in. There's been an explosion of growth in Seattle, and I think there's a similar thing happening down here in Phoenix. There's a lot of people moving down the area. So
one of my favorite
the dance music scene.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite places to stay down there is the JW Marriott. They've got the lazy river going through their property, so you just sit on the inner tube, and the rest does its own work for you. So you'll have to check that out if you haven't already been there. So
I haven't. I will definitely do that.
So I'm looking just kind of over my show prep here, and I see a name here, Paul Van Dyke. That name definitely stands out. And
yeah, you've heard of that.
Yes, I definitely have. And it sounds like you've gained some support from him and Marcus Schultz and Ferry Kortson and quite a few big names.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very lucky to have support by those guys, and those are some of the guys that we really looked up to when we first got into dance music. Armin van Buren, Marcus Schultz, Ferry Kortson, Paul Van Dyke, and of course, we're very lucky to have our mentor, who's Mike Push, one of the first guys in the scene. He helps guide us and has really added a lot of value to Sean and Xander in our career.
So let's talk about, you have over 20 releases, and including some records, obviously, for Flashover Trance and Black Hole, and just all the other recordings that you're currently working on. Let's talk about specifically the 20 releases that are out right now currently.
Right, yeah, we have so many tracks. It's going by so quickly. Since 2015 was our first release, and we helped launch a record label called Mike Push Studio with Mike Push. That's his label. And since then, we've also been on Flashover Trance. That's Ferry Korston's record label, Cold Harbor Recording. We did a collab with Mike Effects, and we're on that. Black Hole, of course, is a very well-known major label in trance that Fiesta was one of the partners who helped start that back in the day. So it's been an honor to be on those as well.
And it sounds like you've given me the honor, speaking of honors, to premiere your new record that I'll be able to play here shortly on the Big Show Studio 110.live. Let's talk about the radio. Let's talk about the song that I'll be playing here live on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. That is our new track coming out on Monday, May 14th, and that is going to be another release on Mike Push Studio. It's a 138 uplifting track with a mix of some psytrance elements. So it's got that really deep driving bass that psytrance is known for, but also a nice melody. And that's something that we believe is kind of the heart and soul of trance is a melody. So we wanted to combine those two things together for what we think will work really well on the dance floor.
Awesome. Good. Well, it's always good to have the proper collaborations and know ultimately what your fan base and what the audience wants to hear, and cater to their needs. That's that's the business for you, man. I mean, it sounds like you're the traction that you have in current play is the current traction.
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to test out new sounds, things that inspire us, but also consider where the genre is moving as a whole. And this track. It's called Sense of Space. We feel like it's doing all those things, bringing what we love to trance and directly correlating to what will work on the dance floor.
And let's talk about your weekly radio show called Inspire. I know it airs globally, just like my show here at Studio 110.live. Let's talk about the show. How long has the show been on the air? Who are some of the guests that have been in the studio so far, and what's ultimately the flight plan for it?
Yeah, the show has had 101 episodes. We just had our 100th anniversary about 8 or so weeks ago. Episode 102 is coming up. Airs every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time on Trance Energy Radio, which is a digital radio station. But then it's also syndicated with several other radio stations around the globe. There's a local one in Seattle that plays it as well, called KBS 7.3. And yeah, we basically play new releases in an artistic format, kind of like what we would do in like a nightclub setting. And that's something that's really important to us. We play tracks that inspire us, and that's why the radio show is called Inspire. There's a lot of music out there that can be kind of linear, if you will, and we want to support and play the records that really offer something different to the dance music community. Things that we love, whether like a great melody, like unique sound design. Yeah, that's basically the soul of the show is around trance music. Hopefully we'll have some guests and maybe even some future events based around the show. But right now we're just debuting what we consider to be some of the best trance releases around.
There you go. And who's been your biggest guest that you've had on so far?
Oh, we actually haven't made any guests part of the show. We like to center around the listening experience, so we don't even talk over it really. We just we tell everyone we're Sean and Xander, and then we want everybody to be in the moment with the music. We want them to be able to work out to it or drive to it or even put it on at a party. We want it to be something that they can enjoy and re-listen to time and time again. And that's one of the reasons why we don't do a lot of talking, a lot of marketing over it. Because a lot of those radio shows are not as listening friendly. Essentially, it's something that we value in our show.
No, I mean I get that it's a music show, and you're catering to ultimately to what your demographics and your fan base wants to hear. But it might be a good idea to from an opinion kind of coming into the conversation from someone who's been in radio for a long time. I totally get what you're doing, but it could be cool once in a while to get some other artists and do some interviews built into that configuration for your show.
Oh, absolutely. And that is something that in the future we're very interested in doing. And we want to grow and develop the show, possibly by adding like Facebook live streams, linking it to future events and gigs, and of course having new artists on the show and giving them exposure as well. That all would mean a lot to us to develop that, because we're very, very passionate about the show. Where do
you do the show at?
I mix it right here in the studio. It's just basically all the tracks are pulled into the DAW. We use FL Studio to produce our dance tunes, and it's the same for making the radio show.
There you go, and I'm
do the studio mix.
There you go, and I'm seeing the next show coming up. Sleepless presents Sean and Xander at Club Contour Friday, May 18th. Let's talk about that.
Okay, right, yeah. So that is our next live performance. It's at a pretty well-known club down there in Pioneer Square, Club Contour.
Yep.
It's actually a club that I used to host some after-hour events at and DJ at. Had a nice residency down there. And this company, Sleepless, stopped in to fly us out, and we're going to be playing on Friday, May 18th, coming on at 12. Really excited to show Seattle some of the new music that we've been working on. It's been been a few months since we performed there, so I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to that.
And talk about your overall stage set, your stage performance, just kind of for all the viewers and everybody listening and watching right now. Just kind of paint me the picture of your guys' set, because I haven't been able to see it yet.
Right, we use what's called CDJ 2000s, which is pretty much the industry standard for
Yep.
any
Yep.
DJ performance. We don't use like a laptop or anything like that. We just bring a USB stick with about 4,000 or 5,000 records on it, and you got basically two huge CD players and mixer with all kinds of effects on it. And you plug the USB in, you gain access to all your records, and you go from there. You read the crowd, and hopefully have a great night of music.
There you go, and I'm sure the town will come out and support, because it's your genre of the music that you provide for the fan base wherever you're performing. I know they definitely come out. Speaking of just music in general, one of my guests on the big show last week was KJ Saka, and he was a really interesting guy to have in the studio for a number of reasons. Just how he, what he was doing, ultimately before he cross the ultimate pathway to become the superstar that he is, and just how he's just one of those guys that a lot of people in his position could have a massive ego and be just a total jerk, and and just kind of not be a respectful guy. He's completely the opposite. He spent an hour and a half with me in the studio, and we just talked about everything. We talked about just the group and what he wants to accomplish, and merchandise, and revamping his clothing brand, and the show at Stage that he did this past Saturday. And so it's just kind of the reason I'm bringing this up is for wherever you're at, whatever platform that you're on, that you represent in the music business, just it's always good to stay humble, man. Always good to stay humble, and stay after shows and talk to the fan base, and because that's what they're always going to remember at the end of the day, man.
I absolutely could not agree more with everything you just said. The fans are everything to us, and we would be nowhere without them. We make the music for the fans, and actually moving down here in Phoenix, it's something I'm really happy to do, is bring more trance to the Phoenix area, because about 6 months ago there was only the occasional show down here once every month, and there wasn't really an outlet for trance. And I heard the last residency for a trance night was actually 12 years ago for
Wow.
here in Phoenix.
Wow.
And moving down here, I was so inspired with what happened in Seattle, with the growth of the trance family and the trance scene there in Seattle, and the support that they got and all the fun events they had together, that I thought that was something that could really blossom down here in Phoenix. And that's something that I've been spending a lot of my time working towards, is building a night based around local DJs, so that they could have something that's special to them, and a place where we could all enjoy like dance music together. Just basically growing the scene down here on what we saw in Seattle, and it's going really well. We've had 3 months of shows so far. Every first Friday we host a show called First Friday Trance, and it's a bar Smith down here in downtown Phoenix. And there has been an incredible response, and the shows are just growing and growing, and it feels amazing to be part of that community and the sense and passion for trance. So I think bringing everyone together and working together for something special like that is what it's all about, not about egos and this and that kind of business. I think it's about what we can do for the dance music community together.
There you go. And if you could do a collaboration with any artist out there, whether it's your genre or another genre, who would that kind of dream collab be with?
That's such a difficult question, because there's so many talented producers that inspire me and that I even look up to, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. But I guess I would have to say, the one and only Armin van Buuren. He's one of the best well-known trance DJs in the world, and he's a pioneer of the genre. Has a world famous show called The State of Trance, and he was one of the guys who really pulled Sean and me into the dance music scene. And working with him would be mind blowing, of course.
Are you
In a lot of respects.
are you associating your brand, overall with kind of the merch conversation? Are you talking about doing a clothing line with either the radio show or just the the overall studio that you represent and that the overall branding into effect?
Right. That's absolutely something we're looking into. Right now, one of the most important things for us is continuing to produce new dance music and stay relevant and consistent in the industry. And putting out a song can take quite a lot of time if you're working on it, from scratch in the DAW. It takes several hours. And so that's been our primary focus. But when the time is right, we would absolutely love to expand the brand, bring in merchandise, T-shirts, not only for just our music career, Sean and Xander, but also for the trance nights down here, the First Friday trance and whatnot. So, yeah, there's who knows, the sky's the limit. Once you really develop your career and you are touring around, there's a possibility for a record label down the road as well, like many of these guys do. These are all things that we're looking forward to developing as we grow as Sean and Xander, and they're all things we really want to do.
What are some ways that people can reach out to you on social to express interest or collaborations or just anything that you're offering to your genre in the trance side of the business?
Absolutely, we are on pretty much every form of social media. We're on Facebook, and that's Sean and Xander. We also have Twitter, Sean and Xander. The word "and" is spelled out. SoundCloud is the same, Sean and Xander. And we're even on Instagram, Sean and Xander, with underscores between Sean and Xander.
There you go. So no excuse not to be able to reach out to my guys here, and if you're down in the Phoenix market, you can definitely stop by if proper time is in play at their. You guys do that monthly night at Bar Smith, correct? It's called First Friday Trance.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And the next one will be in June, and that's June 1st at Bar Smith. I'm also helping to co-host a nice show down here at a beautiful outdoor venue called Shady Park, and that's on the 26th. I'm flying in a DJ named Alex Moore, who's very, very well known in the scene for his productions, and he's been around a very long time. So that's something I'm a part of as well, looking to bring in big names into Phoenix and help grow the scene that way.
And is that the club that you want to continue to partner up with down there, or are you looking at other spots like in Old Town Scottsdale and other venues like that?
Right. There's many, many fantastic venues down here, and right now it's looking like the sky's the limit as long as people keep coming out to support the nights and having a great time. So my partners and I are really hoping to bring trance to all sorts of different venues down here. But primarily right now, we're working with Bar Smith and Shady Park, and things are looking really, really great for trance.
Good. Any shout-outs you want to give to anybody up here in the good old Northwest 206 that knows of you, that supports you when you're up here doing your shows, or down there in Phoenix?
Absolutely. I mean, my music partner, Sean Gorey, is living up there in Seattle right now. We work remotely, but I'd like to say hi to my family. I have two sisters, and my cousin Owen is there, and then I got some best friends, Zach and Colin, and they have been amazing support for years and years and years since we've been working in music in college.
Well,
everyone has. It's been fantastic.
Well, I'm sure something that makes you very happy and probably puts a smile on your face is on the overcast, dark, cloudy days up here when there's hailstorms and rain and 6 inches of water on the ground. You probably enjoy sending them a selfie of you sitting by a swimming pool,
I've been trying not to rub it in too hard, but it's been pretty great with the sunshine and palm trees. I'm staring out of the studio window right now, a couple palm trees, and it looks like it's becoming a nice sunny day, which is the usual down here.
You know, and another thing too, and God bless these guys, but every time I fly into Phoenix, you know, I don't know the name of the neighborhood, but I'll see these like 85-year-old guys, you know, running in 110-degree temperatures, and they're not croaking. You know, they can get from A to B. They're running, and I just, you know, I just can't even imagine the amount of water that you have to, you know, ultimately take in after after running in that type of heat. But I guess if you're down there,
Right.
and you're down there, you're practically your whole life, you're used to it. You know.
That's definitely something I would not recommend doing. That's something I studied in school, actually science. So the possibility of like inducing a heat stroke is very high
Yeah.
down here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know the Phoenix Fire Department. Whenever I'm down there, I know the firemen down there get to wear shorts. So that's probably one other plus to the job. If you're, a firefighter for Phoenix or a police officer, you get to wear shorts to work. So you can't say you get to do that in all other markets around the country. So
one of the really interesting things you'll see down here, you won't really see anywhere else, is they have like baseball and soccer games for like middle school kids, like young kids. It'll be like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, what are you doing up right now? And it's kind of like the land of the vampire people when it's in the summer, because it's so hot during the day that those kind of activities have to take place at night.
cool, man. Well, I wish you nothing but success in all your upcoming journeys and endeavors up here, and for your upcoming show up here in Seattle and Pioneer Square. And at Club Contour, man, come out and support the guys. Friday, May 18th. It's going to be a good show. And let me know what I can continue to do to help you out with my show here at Studio110.live. And don't be a stranger, man. Always good to know that I got a new buddy down in Phoenix when I want to come down there to one of those W Hotel rooftop parties in Old Town.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a great spot. Thank you so much for having us and taking the time to talk about our music. We really, really appreciate it. It's a passion of ours, and we're glad that we could share that with you and with everyone in the area tuning in. So thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime, man, and all the best of luck to you on your show too, called Inspire. When can people hear that?
The next one will air tomorrow, Tuesday, and that's at 5 p.m. And they can tune into Trance Energy Radio, or they can check out our Facebook page. That's Facebook.com/Sean and Xander for all updates and music-related information.
Well, if you can fit in a shout out, give me a shout out on your show, and in return, I'll try to get your song here that I'm gonna play sometime in the show this afternoon, and we'll try to get into power rotation for you. I think that's a nice little trade off, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Will do.
Yeah, no problem. No pressure.
Down here.
No pressure at all. And like I said, man, good to have you on the show, and we'll be in contact with you.
All right, sounds good.
Take care, man. Enjoy the heat, and stay cool.
Yep, it's gonna be back to the studio for me. So
there you go. Well, keep that AC on sky high.
Will do. Yeah, you have a great day as well.
You too, man. Take care. That was Alex here on the line, Sean and Xander doing their thing down there in good old Phoenix. Always good to get national guys, doing things, putting marks into the pavement, and get them on Studio110.live. So all the best to him, and hey, man, I just that would be one market that I would have a hard time spending too much time in, just because those summers down there are no joke. I don't personally, and this is just me personally speaking, I don't find much enjoyment in being around 118 degree days. So that's just dehydration central, and asking to have an IV put in your arm to get you back to the appropriate level. So there you go. That was the first kickoff of the show today, to have Alex on the line representing his crew from good old Phoenix, Arizona. And with that being said, I want to welcome in my next in-studio guest here. I want to give these guys a big shout out. They've done quite a bit for Studio 110.live. I'm referring to Ben and Nick from Zima Marketing, a well-to-do marketing agency based here in Bellevue, with over 31 clients that keep them very busy. And it's always good to have my guys back in the studio. And, I know that they've got a fun announcement that they're going to make. Before we make that announcement, there's always marketing initiatives and things to discuss in the marketing world. You guys are always coming up with new concepts. And I almost treat this segment with you guys when you guys are on the air with me as, free advice. Free advice to a degree. You guys always have tricks up your sleeves in terms of new ways that you guys are putting things on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything that you do in terms of you guys representing your brand with your expertise. So welcome back to the show, guys. Thanks for being in the studio today. I appreciate it. How was your guys' weekend?
Weekend was great. Thank you for having us on the air, Harris.
No
It's always
problem.
good to be on here.
No problem.
Weekend was great. We had lunch with you, which was really fun.
That was a good lunch, and I know you talked about going to the Mariners game, but you couldn't make it, and I don't even know who the Mariners even played this weekend. So
I think it was the Angels.
The Angels, good. Yeah. I don't even know if they won because I haven't been following the Mariners. It's been too dang busy to follow the Mariners, but nothing like going to a Mariners game on a weekend, especially if you have the opportunity to sit in the Diamond Club seats. You don't usually eat 2 days before because it's a smorgasbord beyond belief.
Yeah.
You get a parking space. I mean, you're pretty much on TV the whole game because the cameras are on you. So that's why you wear, Nick, I know you're into fashion, man. That's where you really... That's where Zara. I don't even know if Zara is the appropriate level to go for that type of opportunity. That's where you got
to dress to impress for that.
I mean, go big or go home. That's just that's what you guys do. So I want to thank you guys for I haven't had a chance to thank you guys on the air for all that you did for the launch party.
Thank you.
Studio 110.live was a great successful event party that happened. What was it, 9 days ago now? Yeah, 9 days ago up here at our headquarters. A lot of people here and. You guys did a lot. You provided the DJ. You provided the catering. You guys did quite a bit. Those caterers, man, they really have their stuff together. Can you refresh my memory? I know it's Bree and her sister.
Yep, Fuller Nutrifuel.
Yeah, there you go. And they've got these 3 kind of amazing meal deals into place, and they'll deliver to your home, your work, your gym. And I thought that was really cool. Just to be able to have food delivered to the gym. You know, one less thing to have to worry about. You finish working out, the meal's there. You don't have to go home or stop by the grocery store. You haven't showered yet. Just, it's always, ahead of the curve,
Yeah. No, it's nice. They do a good job. Really healthy food.
Yep.
Really great tasting, and then it's obviously convenient.
There you go. And let's talk about just some. You guys, I was correct when I said roughly 31 clients, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's talk about. Can we talk about just some of the clients that are currently on deck right now that you guys are working with?
Yeah. So put a lot of effort into working with you here at Studio 110.
Thank you.
As well as doing some big events that are coming up in the Seattle area.
Yep.
So there'll be some cool stuff to announce about that. Still really going hard in the mortgage industry. We're throwing an event on Saturday at the Showbox Market that we've actually rented out, having a bunch of people come. Definitely something we'd like to see you at. It's at Friday.
Friday the 11th, yeah.
Friday the 11th. So there'll be open bar, live music, food, lots of great people. So definitely something to pay attention to.
Great.
Showbox Market, 6 to 10.
Yep, 6 to 10 p.m.
Great venue. My friend owns the Blarney Stone, which is just a couple doors down from there. It's a nice Irish bar there on First Avenue. So every time, you guys always intrigue me, and I always see this kind of being a true learning cycle when you guys are in. Let's talk about just the marketing and your guys is the way you guys are so strategic in terms of the marketing that you guys put into place for all the projects that you're working on, from your clients to ultimately kind of even for your personal lives. So what new aspects that have you guys recently learned in terms of new marketing strategies and on the creative side that we can talk about today? Because I love always learning new avenues when we talk about marketing. You can never know enough.
So I think on the creative side, a lot of people have actually been coming to us asking us to help them create content or strategies to grow their business. And I think one of the biggest things when creating that is actually knowing who you're trying to get in front of, because you can create videos and content and photos and you can put them out there, but if it's not tactical, you don't have a strategy of you want to get in front of this demographic with this income range in this area, then your content's not going to go as far.
Okay.
So really having that buyer persona, which you can actually find rubrics to build them online for free. But it's really important you go through and figure out all the characteristics, all the aspirations, everything about that person, and you create content that actually brings them in.
Okay, and I'm always kind of preaching in meetings and always telling, the staff and explaining that you got to focus on these 25 to 30 second videos. Because you can feel the engagement, you can feel the vibes, you can feel people really properly putting out the appropriate messages in these videos rather than just kind of putting up a regular picture, because a picture can speak words, but it doesn't speak nearly the type of effect into place like a video.
Right. Videos do something. One of my buddies down in LA owns Viral Media. And they say that video does three things. So it educates, it evokes emotion, and then it will also engage people, which photos don't do that.
And are you recommending this to your clients, whether in the mortgage or a catering, organic catering business, or, all your wide range of clients, are you recommending to do these videos?
Pretty much everybody I work with at this point is doing video. Okay. That's a requirement for working with us. Good.
And so what's kind of day in and day out? So I know you guys are both the captains of the plane here, but what are you focused on and what are you doing, Nick? So everybody can fully understand, what you guys bring to the table here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, pretty much we're just running through meetings pretty much the whole day. I do a lot of the sales and coming up with the proposals with Ben, and Ben, sort of implements the strategy, and then we go back with the team, really. So we have a sales process that we take everyone through from, intaking information, figuring out what best suits their needs, to really putting together a proposal that we feel like is going to be the best for them, for their situation and what they're trying to accomplish. And we really want to make sure that we have specific goals and targets to hit for them. And then we sort of work backwards from those goals. Like, how do we reach those? Where do we need to put information and content in? And then, we just pretty much build it out. And then after that, we go through an implementation phase.
There you go. So hypothetically, I'm not, but hypothetically, let's say just, for a little side hustle, side hobby, I was interested in opening up a lounge, for example. Mm-hmm. And I came to you guys and I said, I want you guys to be, I want you guys to handle all marketing initiatives for my new development into place. And I said, you know what? My budget, let's say, is just, I'm throwing this number out because this is a hypothetical situation, but let's say I want to throw $5,000 a month into marketing. What will that ultimately get me?
Yeah, it depends on the objectives, but I think the first thing that any business owner or anyone even conceiving an idea about a business is how are they going to get people to purchase from their business? So sometimes people are going to throw events or do things and they don't actually have a strategy to get people there yet. So making sure that you're putting part of that money into, number one, awareness. People don't know what they don't know. So if they don't know about your lounge, how are they going to come to it?
Correct.
Number two is actually getting the content out that's going to advocate what it does and what the value proposition is. And then actually putting money into getting that content in front of the right people, which would be paid advertising, so targeted online ads.
Yeah, and you and I in all the meetings that we've been in, you guys have ways now to either through Hot Zips, like Hot Zips campaign, knowing where hypothetically this lounge would be, and then targeting the appropriate demographics in the right neighborhoods to be able to get packed wall to wall amounts of people in there ultimately.
Yep, exactly.
And I think kind of tracking Hot Zips and doing promotions like we've talked about through YouTube channels and Facebook and Google and all the other different avenues that you guys can provide. Most people, from what I've been learning recently, a lot of people are leaving Facebook to really utilize the appropriate channels on Instagram.
Right. Instagram is doing very, very well, especially the story. And YouTube also does really well, too. We get a lot of results from YouTube video ads.
And another thing that I learned from you is, and I want to talk about this, is when you develop your YouTube channel to the level that it needs to be, YouTube will actually start sending checks, correct?
Yes.
Good. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So if you get a certain amount of subscribers, you can actually monetize that. So you can have advertisements on your feed, and you can actually get paid by YouTube. And there's a lot of variables that determine how much you get paid, but the opportunity is really awesome because it's passive income. So you're already going to be doing YouTube. You're already making that channel. You're already using it every day. So why not get it to the point where you're getting paid for that rather than just creating it?
And what's that magical number? About 10,000?
Yep.
So you have to have 10,000, per video that goes up, or that's what they're looking for.
10,000 regular subscribers.
Regular subscribers.
In order to be able to start monetizing. That's not really when you're going to get a lot of money, but that's when you can start having that opportunity.
So really, like the big checks start rolling in 25, 50, 75,000.
100,000, million.
And do you have clients right now that that have reached and surpassed those numbers where they're actually seeing direct testimonials from that?
Yep, we have people who are at 70, 80,000 subscribers, people who are growing even to be higher than that. And it's really cool to see people because not only are they investing money into this content, which is getting them customers, but then the content is actually making money itself.
There you go. And how long does it normally take someone, if you're starting off at, a low number to be able to get to that in the most effective way, in your guys' opinion, to get to that kind of winning ratio?
It totally depends on the demographic. I would say if you're like doing something Gen Z related or millennial, you're going to see a lot more growth than if you're doing something business oriented towards older people. But usually you say like a year to 2 years. Sometimes it can be 6 months. It really just depends on what the target is and what they're covering.
And on a national progression and actually projection as well, but when we talk about just national, proper accordance here, what are some marketing campaigns that you guys have recently seen, not necessarily in this state, but outside of the state, that have impressed you in terms of what they put together?
Yeah, a lot of people are doing really great work with getting applications to grow. So using video content like animated explainer videos to grow, either social networks or applications, and getting people to download and enter that. And that's all through video ads. And it's not necessarily videos of people talking, but they're animated videos or whiteboard videos that are really, really doing well because they're engaging and they're also very educational. And so that's valuable to business.
There you go. Well, I know one of the main reasons that you guys are in the studio with me today is to make a fun surprise announcement, and let's talk about what we have on deck, because I heard partially enough about this, but I want you guys to kind of take the floor and talk about what we're going to be doing here.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing an EDC ticket giveaway.
Nice.
Yeah, that we're going to be doing here. We'll announce the winner on Studio110.live.
Great.
And that's something that we're going to do 1 week from today.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so basically the way anyone would enter is they're going to go to, actually we have an entertainment company as well, which we've talked about here on air. So basically if you go to we'reunity.com, there's a contact form. You can put your name, email in there. We'll be collecting the names and the emails here throughout the week, and then we'll come back on next Monday and we'll announce the winner.
And what are we ultimately looking for to be able to give someone a prize like this? I mean, they have to just, they have to jump through leaps and bounds to be able to win this. And not your regular average Joe just, ain't going to win this. So what are we ultimately looking for to be able to give someone a humongous prize like this?
Yep. So I think one of the things they need to do is they need to follow Studio 110 Live on Instagram and like them on Facebook. They need to go to wereunity, WEREUNITY.com, put their email in, and then we will have a random winner selected. And these are EDC Las Vegas tickets, so Electric Daisy Carnival, which is a really big electronic music festival. I believe there's like 300,000 people that go, and these are 2 passes completely free.
Wow.
So it's like $1,000 value there. And we want to give them away to some of the followers for Studio 110.
Well, I appreciate that. Way to step up to the plate, guys. I mean, you guys are no rookie at this in any way, shape, or form, from everything that you guys did for the big launch party to now this. And I mean, the sky is the limit when it comes time to what you guys can offer from good old Zima Marketing. And while it's fresh in my brain right now, before we kind of get back to the giveaway, because there's a lot more to talk about with the giveaway, proper ways that people can reach out to you at Zima for possible upcoming partnerships.
Absolutely. So if you go to our website, zimamarketing.com, there's a contact form. That's a great way to get in touch with us. It goes directly to our email, and we can follow up, or you can even schedule a call in one of our calendars right from our website, which is actually a complimentary call for first-time people.
And I've heard too that when people reach out to you guys, I mean, it's pretty much instantaneous. A lot of companies, nothing against other countries in any way, shape, or form, but a lot of companies today, you'll get a response from someone in India.
Yeah.
I mean, here, this is local. You're going to get a local response back in proper time accordance, and so you're not going to have to wait 3 or 4 days for an answer. I mean, that's just one more thing that Zima brings to the table. It's quite impressive, if you want my humble opinion. So, all right. So let's. So people are gonna have to, ultimately send in contact info, and they're going to be reviewed, and we will choose a winner next Monday. At what time do we roughly want to do this? I think we should push it to the end, so we get the full vantage point, the full amount of promotion leading up to it, and maybe we'll do it. About 2:30 maybe?
2:30 on Monday next week.
Okay, we'll do it at 2:30, and I'll be quite excited to hear how many hundreds of people reached out, if not more, to win a pass and an opportunity like this, which is just which is huge. Have you guys ever been? Can you guys speak about the event and talk about, kind of paint a picture for me and the listening audience what they can expect at this?
Yes, I've been 3 years in a row. I actually didn't go last year, but the previous 3 years. And it's a huge festival. It's EDC Las Vegas, so I mean, it's tons of fun. There's a ton of nightlife going on in Vegas. Really big DJs playing at the clubs. Then also some of the biggest in the world at the venue itself. It's at the Speedway. Okay. And it's like a giant carnival. So, I mean, there's rides, there's good food, there's tons of great people. There's people dressed up in costumes doing all sorts of silly dancing and fun things. I definitely recommend it. It is 18 plus, by the way, so anyone who enters must be over 18.
There you go, must be over 18. Yeah.
This isn't something you want to miss out on. I mean, there's a lot of people who they never go, or they really want to go, and like, I always wanted to go to that. Well, enter and you get your chance.
There you go. And we're obviously giving away a pair, correct?
Yep.
Absolutely.
A pair. Yep. So,
and then I think I just saw on their website the other day that they're either sold out or almost sold out for general admission tickets.
Well, that's just one more massive thing that Zima and Studio 110.live partner up and bring things together. Now we're giving them, practically sold out, $1,000 plus passes. I mean, no one else in this market is doing that. No one else in this market is doing that because they don't have the proper brains just aren't in place to do it. I mean, you can't fly an airplane when you're a rookie. Right. I mean, you want to be at 36,000 feet, and I know you like that analogy because you're on, and I think this is okay to say on the air, but a family member of yours is quite a prominent pilot.
Yes, my dad's a pilot for Delta.
Yeah. And I think that's damn cool. And you've shown me pictures of you being in the flight deck and the places that you've been able to travel to and be there. But it's probably pretty darn cool to be sitting next to someone on the plane. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to do this, but to say, hey, guess what? My dad's actually the pilot of this plane.
Yeah, it was actually one time I was flying to Tokyo and actually Shanghai, where my dad was the pilot, and it was pretty cool because everyone knew he was my dad when I was up in the first class. So
there you go. Yeah. Did you? I don't know your dad's personality, but my kind of personality is like, regardless if it was a smooth flight or turbulent flight, I kind of like to. It would be fun, when the pilots come out of the flight deck, when you're everybody's getting off the plane, and just to kind of like play a little joke with your dad, kind of raise your voice and say like, "Damn, did the flight have to be that bumpy? Like, couldn't you found some smoother air to try?"
I always mess with him.
Oh, good.
He's really intense though, so he doesn't really think it's that funny.
He doesn't laugh.
He'll just like look at me.
What are some ways that you've messed with him? Have you ever like knocked on the flight deck door in flight or?
No, absolutely not. That's like
can't do that. I can't do that anymore. No. Good. I was hoping that you were going to say no to that because you still get idiots that still try to do that today, even though the frickin' cart is there and you can't even get near the door. But
yeah, it's all locked off, all secure.
Yeah. So it would be that would be a dumb horrible.
It would be a ding dong thing to do.
Yeah, it would be a stupid thing to do because you're asking, when you land to pretty much be taken into custody.
Yeah.
So it's like oh hey honey, you want to go to Maui for 4 or 5 days on a surprise visit, and then you end up going into the county jail instead of going to the beach. So
they'll probably turn the plane around too.
Yeah,
if it's not far enough.
So and I'm sure your dad had to deal with stupid idiotic fools on many rides.
Yeah, he's always telling me stories about like drunk people getting on the plane and like causing problems, but. Yeah, he handles it well.
The best story that I ever heard for aviation purposes was I was actually on this flight, and this guy, he was sitting across from me. I was in the aisle. He was in the aisle too, and he was so drunk. And people don't realize the amount of power that pilots have. So the flight attendant said, we pretty much gave them one more chance. This guy one more opportunity and chance to settle down, and he refused to. So you see the pilot come out of the flight deck with a piece of paper like this in his hand, and he says, in front of everybody, we're all seated, and he says, "Young man," he says, you know what this piece of paper is?" And he's like saying, "Oh, it's no big deal. What's that piece of paper?" And he says, "If I actually finish signing my signature at the bottom of this piece of paper, you will be banned from flying on any domestic U.S. carrier." So you should see how quick he shaved up.
I bet.
Because literally they have like paperwork in the flight deck that if they want to put you on a ban you from flying on whatever, no fly zone banning, that they can do that. And so I was trying to hold in the laughter. I wasn't trying to get this guy excited or to get him to cause a bigger scene on board, but. I always like talking about aviation, so I'm glad we had an opportunity to bring it up. That's the thing about the show is, expect the unexpected. This is a marketing segment. We're talking about these massive ticket giveaway, but now we talk about aviation. So you just never know what's going to come out of my mouth on this show. And well, why not? I mean, your dad's a pilot. Your dad's a pilot for Delta, and he's one of their, senior most prominent pilots.
Yep, and he was also a Blue Angel. So,
yes, he was.
When Seafair rolls around, you guys see him flying around. My dad used to do that too.
Yeah, ask him next time you talk to him, what's the name of the maneuver where they're going right head on each other, and then within seconds they turn, and they're not even focused on, from what I've been told, they're all listening to the commander, in Jet 1, call all the shots.
Yeah.
So you would think that, as you flying against your opponent, he's here, enough time to turn.
They're going fast.
And they're going so freaking fast too. I mean, that's always a highlight out here at Seafair with the Hydros and the Blue Angels and the air show at the pits. It's called the pits, the Stan Sayers pits, is where that huge thing goes down. So how do we get our hands on this on these amazing tickets that you guys are allowing me and Studio 110.live to give away?
Yeah, so go to the Instagram page of Studio 110 Live, follow the account, like the Facebook page as well, and then go to wereunity.com. That's wereunity.com, and just put your email and your name in, and then we will select a winner.
There you go. Were you guys at last year's festival, or you guys haven't been in 2 years?
I was not at last year's festival.
I didn't go last year, but I went the 3 years before that.
Okay. And do you remember, what was your favorite part when you were there? What was, if you had to just, remember the one just top-notch favorite that you'll never forget?
Yeah, I think the fireworks on the last night are really cool. I think going to EDC and seeing the fireworks, they have this extravagant fireworks show. I've never seen a firework. Everything else is terrible. That show put everything to shame.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. So it's really cool. And then also you meet a ton of cool people. I have friends all over the country now because I met them at EDC. We go and visit them. They come and visit me. So it's a great place where you actually make new connections and you actually have a really great time. Awesome. Great. It's a great opportunity, and I want to thank you guys again for allowing the show to be able to give these away. And so someone will really have to impress us to be able to get these amazing passes at, valued at $1,000 plus. It's a big prize, Yeah. This station's out there giving away movie passes, that have a value of nothing. You don't even get a free popcorn with them, or Diet Coke. Or licorice. You got to pay tax. Right. And here we're giving away $1,000 plus tickets to a prime time event. So I really this is just the start. Yes. This is just the start in terms of all the things that we're putting together into proper motion here, and super excited about that. I think the like I said, the sky is the limit when we talk about Zima. And when did Zima kick off? When did Zima come out of the gates just screaming at the competition? Yeah, we're just coming up on 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Yep. So we got a team of 6 people. We're located in the Bravern here as well, and we work hard and we love our clients. So. And let's talk about the team of 6 people. What everybody does here to make Zima so vibrant. Mm-hmm. So I'm CEO, owner of Zima. Nick is the COO, so he does a lot of the operations, also developing proposals and running point on sales. And I just show up and look at the meetings. Yeah. Is that a hard job in the morning to Honestly, pick out the? Yeah. It is. It is. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. It puts a lot of stress in too. Not a lot of stress, but it just takes a lot of effort. Are you going shopping every weekend to have new outfits for every single week, or do you have enough? I pretty much have everything coordinated for the whole month. Oh, you do? Yeah, I have a whole timeline that I put together. So as you being the CEO, obviously he's doing that off company time. You don't want him during company time to be in the company forward. It does, yeah. So. It's the main driver as far as sales goes. Any fashion brands? You would think some fashion brands would be, in proper accordance here to be talking to you guys and work with you guys that could benefit from Zima just off Nick's top-notch swagger. Yeah. We do a lot of e-commerce marketing, so working with online brands, especially boutiques and stores here in Seattle where they're only selling from foot traffic. If you get your store on the line, then you have the whole internet. You can sell someone in New York. Yeah. And you don't have to just depend on Seattle locals. So we do a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. And you guys might not be able to answer this, but if I paint the picture well enough, maybe it'll help. But we talk about Nordstrom's. Yeah. We talk about the prime time window space that they have on Fifth Avenue and on Pine Street.
And then we talk about the department downstairs called the men's designer department,
Yep.
where you got, St. Laurent jackets in there for $6,500. You got, Givenchy leather jackets in there for, $4,800. There's a lot of expensive merchandise on that floor. Explain to me, and, Loretta Sophie was in, a few weeks back, and she was the executive vice president of Nordstrom's. And she said, it's a very valid point that I brought up. But, I guess, the proper kind of efforts that Nordstrom's, puts into their demographics in terms of the people going into the store is primarily, women and females. Why wouldn't we, speaking of Nordstrom's, just on the marketing level and initiative, why wouldn't we be, creating more videos on Nordstrom's.com where you can be unveiling and showing new products? There's always new products going in there. Yeah. And then utilizing the primetime window space that they have. It's free.
Yeah, I think a lot of times companies like that have a command, order of command. And a lot of times the people at the top, especially in marketing positions, they aren't as forward as the smaller companies who are, the only way that my company can be where we are is by being innovative and by doing the next new thing that's going to bring in business. And companies like that, they have people at the top who they have their systems and their processes, and they have to do a lot to change that. I have actually seen BP, which is the young women's section. Yeah. They're starting to phase that out, and it's becoming mostly e-commerce. So I was reading something about how maybe by 2020 they're going to be done with BP, and it's going to be only online. But you see a lot of things going online. I mean, there's a ton of sales going on with e-commerce. I have friends who Black Friday weekend, they do $1 million in revenue in one weekend from an e-commerce store. Or people who are doing that on a monthly basis, selling women's hair ties and baby socks and little knickknacks. So e-commerce definitely has a lot of opportunity. It's just, I think people get stuck in their ways, and they are not necessarily in pain, so they don't look at that drastic way to change.
There you go. What are your thoughts on just kind of the overall top man, top shop business in terms of the partnership that they developed into place with them, kind of ultimately having the exclusive level and branding to be able to sell their product at Nordstrom's?
I like that brand. I like the way it fits. It fits my body well.
Top Man's my favorite.
Oh, it is?
Oh, I love it.
I thought Zara was.
No, I mean, like, as far as, like, Nordstrom goes, like...
Nordstrom's, okay.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Actually, I do like Top Man better than Zara.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Top Man has cool stuff.
They do. They're evolving on a higher platform like they should be, and reinventing the wheel in proper accordance. So if there's one client or one opportunity that could land on your guys' desk with any company, here in the Northwest or nationally, that you guys would love the opportunity to head up and be in charge of their marketing initiatives, who would it be?
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot. I really enjoy doing events in production. I think it's something that's fun. We love to bring people together. So I think working in that environment, I also know that we have a system that can definitely drive people to an area. I mean, if I can get clients to do things for mortgage brokers or real estate, why couldn't we do it for something fun, right? So I think getting the opportunity to work with these big event planning companies and doing their marketing the right way would actually be something that I think, we have a lot of industry experience as well as interest in that. So I think that'd be fun. Also fashion. I love fashion. I love to work with some of the bigger brands and some of the boutiques here in Seattle and growing. But the thing is, you can only help people who want to help themselves. Yeah. So.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, if people want to just kind of stay in their own lane, then they're going to have to stay in their own lane. But you would think that people would want to reinvent the wheel and have the appropriate branding and marketing initiatives into full play. Speaking of fashion, because it's going to come up. I mean, it always has to come up. I mean, if I have on Tech Tuesdays, a tech guy in here that's, suit and tie, super, dressed to the nines, it's still going to come up regardless of whatever, whoever the guests are that are in the studio, it's always going to find a way to come up because you can't ignore it. So speaking of, you mentioned boutiques, like, are there any boutiques here locally in the Northwest that you frequent that you can think of? Because I can't, I can think of a few, but nothing that really gets me too exciting.
Yeah, there's shoe stores that I like to go to. Like there's Bait in Capitol Hill, or there's some other ones over there. As far as boutiques, I feel like Seattle isn't really that poppin' for fashion. I lived in Miami for a long time, and that's where I really got a lot of my inspiration. I buy a lot of clothes online because that's where I can get access to the stuff I like. Yeah. I do get Fear of God. I like Fear of God selectively, which they have at like PacSun usually. But yeah, Seattle's kind of on the fashion.
It is. It really just needs to. The kitchen needs to be remodeled just quickly. I'm just the same in, same out. Like even going to Barney's, and it's not a good day. Regardless if I shop there or not. when there's nothing in there that even looks, like you would even put it on. We even having the opportunity to walk into the dressing room and try something on. If it's not there, it's just like that's not a good look.
No. Yeah.
How about you, Nick? What are some local boutiques and brands locally and nationally that you're a fan of these days?
Honestly, like I don't really have any local boutiques that I shop at. I mainly just am shopping online, or if I do something here, it's like Top Man, Zara, Nordstrom's is where I'm grabbing a lot of stuff.
Yep.
I actually find a lot of cool stuff on like Instagram that pops up in my Instagram feeds from different sites.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like ASOS too, but like nothing really locally is getting me excited as far as clothes go.
Yeah, it's sad, I mean, these stores and boutiques here locally just need to step it up.
You did have one brand on here I thought was doing something cool. OY brand.
The Oi brand, yes.
Yeah.
Kelly and her business partner from the Oi brand, they've got some really cool hats and T-shirts. The local rapper who's been making a lot of noise out here, Huey P, represents them. Wears a lot of the Oi brand product on stage at his different performances, and so yeah. I'm excited to see what they continue to unveil. They're down there at the iconic old Rainier Brewery, which is an iconic spot here in the Northwest that used to produce one of the old time beers here in good old the Seattle area. So, and I'm proud to say I have one of the original neon big R neon beer signs at my spot that I'm looking forward to putting up on the wall and making it a little like rec room.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's the old school R, and it still lights up, still works works great. So let's circle back here and talk about the big giveaway happening next Monday. I want to thank you guys again for allowing Studio 110.live to partner up with Zima and kick off this big promotion. So let's talk about again what they'll be winning and what they have to do to win it.
Yeah, so we're going to be giving away 2 passes to EDC Las Vegas, which is the Electric Daisy Carnival. So it's the biggest electronic music festival in the country, which is in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to be giving away 2 passes. You just have to go and like Studio 110 Live on Instagram and Facebook, follow that account, as well as go to our website, wereunity.com, and put your name into the opt-in box where we will pick a winner from the emails that are put in there.
And do you have dedicated staff to be monitoring this? You guys are just way too busy. You have way too much on your plate. I mean,
yep.
you have some people on the staff that are checking the email literally every 30 seconds.
Yep, we have actually notifications that come in, so we can see when people are subscribing, and we will actually randomly pick a winner from that.
Good,
yeah.
Good.
Which will be announced here.
But they have to be following the studio. They have to hit the requirements to actually be selected to win.
And see that's the brains here coming out of Zima from you, Ben, and Nick. I mean, we weren't just gonna we're gonna take in a massive ticket giveaway and just give them to anybody. You have to do the proper thing to be able to win these tickets, and that's reaching out to you guys, following us on our Instagram, Studio 110.live, and we have some really fun things on our Instagram. I mean, yeah. I still laugh if I want to get if I want to laugh and get myself into a good funny cycle. I'll go back and watch the Sir Mix-a-Lot video where he's just going off on me, saying like, my guy Dirty Harry had me come here at 8 o'clock in the morning for a 1 o'clock show and mop the floors and sweep the floors and help with wiring. And it's true, I did, but that's relationships, I mean, I don't care who you are. I mean, you happen to be Sir Mix-a-Lot, but he had some fun with it. And it's videos are entertaining, especially on the ones that we provide here at Studio 110.live. Let's, I know we have some, I know our next in studio guests will be here shortly. Marquis and Chevy. Chevy is the well-known music artist here out of the Northwest. Started down in the South, and been putting a good traction into place. And then, of course, Marquis is his producer. I had the opportunity to meet these guys through my guy Nasty Ness. Just one of the many members of artists that he's working with here in the Northwest, if not on the national scene. Maybe we'll call we'll surprise him. Ness likes to be surprised, but we'll call Nasty Ness real quick and see if there's anything that he wants me to say to these guys. Maybe he'll give me some fun. Some fun little jokes because he knows these guys. I mean, I know these guys, but he knows them a little bit more. So we'll get Ness here on the line, and he's not expecting me to call him, but you know what? That's what live radio is about. So I'm going to call Nasty Ness right now down in Los Angeles, and we're gonna talk to him here. That ringtone is just next level.
The old ringback tone.
Hey, Harris.
You're live on the radio. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but you're live on the radio right now. So I'm sure you got.
Oh, well.
Yeah. You're live on the air, and I'm sure. And I'm sure you got a lot. You got a lot going on. The only reason I'm calling you on this sunny, on this sunny, beautiful Monday afternoon is my next in studio artists are Chevy and Marquis, and I figured before they make their way into the studio here. Figured it'd be cool to get the legend, Nasty Ness, who's becoming a regular on Studio 110.live, to talk about your relationship with these guys. And, I mean, it's hard to get Nasty Ness to be excited about you. So talk about how this all kind of came into place.
Really? Are you serious? Chevy and Marquis is there?
Well, they'll be here in a few minutes. Yeah. Yep.
Wow, they didn't even tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Double surprise. Double whammy. Yeah.
Well, Marquis hit me up on, I think on Facebook a while back, and, I get so many emails from artists wanting me to hear their stuff, and a lot of times, it's not something I'm really feeling, but for some reason I decided to listen to his music just out of the blue. It's one of those days where, I just listen to this, because it's out of Tacoma. Let me just give it a shot. And I really liked it a lot. So I hit him back right away, and then one thing led to another. Well, there was the Urban Network Music Conference. It's one of the biggest conferences for radio, records, DJs that's held once a year in LA. And he said he was going to come up for that, and I told him, I said, hey, why don't I just put you on my guest list and we'll roll together. And he ended up showing up in LA like he said he would, and then he got a chance to hang out with me, DJ Third Degree, and the High Children, and it's weird because his dad knows the group The High Performance, and they were one of the first groups that when I was part of Nasty Mix Records, we signed them to our label, and they're from Tacoma, and they were primarily known as a breakdancing group, and they also rap, and they ended up doing pretty well on the label, but his dad knows those guys, and another group that we're a part of, Criminal Nation. And so it's kind of weird, how that happened, but we've been tight ever since.
Well, there you go. See, that's why I wanted to get you live on the air here, Nasty Ness out of Los Angeles, to talk about how it came into play, because that's taking it to the next level. Like you can draw a picture and just be fine with the picture, or you can get a guy on like Nasty Ness who's well known and respected nationally to come on and talk about how the relationship came into play and into effect, and kind of open the door, because I'm excited. This will be actually the second time that they've been on the air here with me at Studio 110.live, and thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, what I wanted to add to Marquis and Chevy, I just want to thank you, Harris, because I went to your party and I got a chance to get a picture taken with Mrs. Vietnam, and I know I've thanked you a million times, but I just want to say thank you, man. That meant a lot to me. Mrs. Vietnam, I got a picture with Mrs. Vietnam.
Well, don't even think that that's where it's going to stop, Ness. I mean, it's the sky's the limit here. Like, I think we should get Miss Vietnam to call you sometime and say hi to you. Mm-hmm. And you never know. Right. You never know what you could do. Maybe for Miss Vietnam. I mean, with all your national contacts and your human Rolodex and the level that you're respected at, maybe it's just one more client. Maybe it's one more client that you'll have to take on.
Oh man, if I could get sponsored by someone who can provide me with Vietnamese coffee every day, I'll be a real happy man. You need to try that, Harris. Dirty Harry, Vietnamese coffee is the bomb. It's better than Starbucks.
Oh really?
Yeah, it really is. Mm-hmm.
So what would you like? I mean, I'm not saying that this would ever happen, but I'm saying that if myself and the crew and we brought Miss Vietnam down and we surprised you like you surprised me up here a week ago, and she knocked on your door, and we had like MTV, how like the camera crew was hidden, on the left and right side of the door, and she knocked on the door. Like, what would happen? Like, can you paint me the picture of what would happen if Miss Vietnam knocked on Nasty Ness's house front door?
Well, two things. One, my wife will probably have a Glock gun pointing at her. Or two, you can let me know ahead of time so I can make sure my wife's out shopping.
Well,
and then I can meet Mrs. Vietnam.
Yeah, I would definitely choose number two because I would definitely don't want to piss off your wife. That's the last thing that I would ever, want to do. So I want to thank you again for all that you do here for the High Children. Super excited to get these guys at some of the big upcoming festivals up here this summer. And I know you're coming back up. Let's talk about real quick the next event that you've got coming up here at the Stone Lounge that you'll be part of.
Yeah, well, actually on May 18th, the High Children, yours truly, will be at the Stone Lounge. It's up in Bellevue. They're going to be doing a performance there, as well as Filipino artist, Tacoma, Rocky Sandoval, I believe, is going to be there as well. But I really want people to come out there so they can see, one of my new discoveries, the High Children. And I'm really excited about, those guys and people meeting them for the first time. And plus, I love Bellevue, man. I love going to Bellevue. And what else? Oh, and earlier that day, we'll be doing something for C89 concert that they're putting on. But I don't even know where it's going to be at. But I know it's somewhere in Seattle. So anyway, we'll keep you posted on that.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be back in the studio with me. Hopefully that Friday, if time allows. And
all right.
And we'll keep in contact. So the guys are on their way back up. Would you like me to call you back live on the air when they're in the studio, or you just want me to say hello?
No, just say hello because I want to watch you guys, man, and see what's up. I can't believe they're going to be on. They didn't even tell me. All right, I'm gonna hang up now. I'm gonna watch them, and you have a great day. And much love to you always, Dirty Harry. All right.
Thank you, Nasty Ness. We'll talk later. Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
That was good old Nasty Ness, and how to get my guy Ness on, because I wanted him to give the proper introduction for just another artist that he has been working with up here in the Pacific Northwest, Chevy, and we allowed Chevy actually to perform with us at our show that we did a couple weeks ago here at Substation. And that was, man, he got up there and he did his thing. He normally Ness and I wouldn't allow another performance to take place when it's the High Children show, Jason and Jamal, and they tore the roof off that. We called it Hip Hop 2.0, and I'll tell you why we called it Hip Hop 2.0, and I love the name Hip Hop 2.0, because not only was it a music show, but it was a fashion show also while the music was going down. So we had several fashion brands and designers in there, Trash by Tony and Oi brand, and they had the opportunity to highlight and show all the new pieces that will be available online and at the different stores. So it was definitely a great event, man. Everybody came out for that. We had the step and repeats. We had a great DJ. Man, shout out to my guy Jay at Fan Stereo in New York. We gave away some headphones from his really dope headphone speaker brand called Fan Stereo that my guys, the High Children, they're the only group here locally that have a partnership with a headphone brand called Fan Stereo. So, man, they are doing it. And just, when the man that discovered you opened the door for you and relied on someone like myself to be able to help him with his day-to-day operations back in the day on Cap Hill, got to always get that guy on the air as often as possible because he's always got things to talk about. He's working with so many artists and talks to all the labels, and just one thing that we both always agree upon, and shout out my guy Steve Lobel, who said it extremely well last week, was when people ask him, does he refer to it as the music industry or the music business? And I'll tell you right now, it's the business. It's a business, and it's a business because you don't burn bridges and you have good communication. And that's why we have the relationship that we have here with these guys that were just on the air with me from Zima Marketing, Ben and Nick, and just the tickets and these passes that we're going to be giving away next Monday for this big festival coming up. $1,000 plus, man. Like, this is no cheap little 1, 2, 3. This is next level contesting and marketing, and just super excited to partner up with these guys and they're definitely the ones that are handling a lot of my marketing here at Studio110.live. So, like they said, man, you gotta just, we're not making you jump through all these hoops and making it stressful. All you gotta be able to do is you gotta reach out to them. They gave you the platform, and they'll be back on to do that. But all the details, everything that you got to know will be on our Instagram page, Studio110.live. You got to follow us on Studio110.live. And next Monday at 2:30, we will announce the winner. And I hope it's someone that really deserves these. I want it to be someone that really is excited about this festival, that's never had the opportunity to go, that might be going through some difficult times. So that's who I want. If they ask me my opinion, that's who my first choice would be for the winner. Another someone that I want to mention too is Lala. Lala from the Euphoria clothing brand was on the air with me this past Friday. Super excited for the partnership with her. She'll be coming into the studio here. I'm not sure if it's this week or next week, and we'll be doing a little live fashion show on the air, getting some models in here, and we'll be showing and highlighting and showcasing a lot of her upcoming work that you can actually find at her boutique that she's in conjunction with down there at, I still call it South Center Mall. I know they changed their name, but it's like some, Westfield Town Shopping Center or whatever it is. I still call it South Center because it is South Center to me. And so we got a lot of exciting things coming up on the show. Excited to have Nasty Ness back in the studio when he comes back up here. It looks like it'll be the end of next week. So it's always good to have him in here, and he can talk about all the projects that he's working on nationally. Let's check to see what's going on here on the music news side of things today with our with all the outlets that we always are in touch with to be able to report all the newest stuff here, and just kind of going through. I'm not seeing, some Mondays are better than others when we talk about big, stories. I mean, the Kanye West story has calmed down a little bit. That was definitely a big story last week in terms of everything that he was coming out and saying and dealing with. Not too much today. I mean, Snoop Dogg is in news to a degree, saying that he's still a little upset with what some of the words that came out of Kanye's mouth. So hopefully we'll get an opportunity to touch on that a little bit before our next in studio guests make their way here into the studio. Chevy and Marquis from down south. There's a couple other things that I want to hit on today, and I want to give also a shout out to Alex and Sean and Xander. They were on with me in the 1 o'clock hour today, and they'll be coming back up here to the Northwest on also Friday, May 18th at Club Contour. It's called Sleepless Presents. Be a music show that they're going to be doing up here they're based in Phoenix, but they know what Seattle has to offer. So come out and support that event. That'll be at Club Contour. And then, of course, we've got my guys, the High Children, same day. So try to make it to both of them. You can just, come to both. I mean, it's just, hop, skip, and a jump. And my guys will be out there at Stone Lounge, which is actually near the studio here where we broadcast the big show here from Studio110.live. What else do we need to be discussing today? Oh yeah, man, we gotta. I told her I'd be doing it a few times, so I'm happy I remembered. Abigail, Miss Washington USA, had her big event here yesterday. Her farewell, her send off party. We had about 30 people. The studio, the office has never looked so good. Had a lot of models in here. It was just a really good crowd, and we wish her all the best and much success on her upcoming journey out there in Louisiana to I'm hoping that she brings back the Miss USA crown. And she's told me that one of her first stops after she hopefully wins will be this show, Studio110.live, to be able to talk about that experience. That'll be a big stage set for her. And we wish her nothing but massive amounts of success that hopefully she'll win. I think she's going to win it. I think she's going to win it. She's got a good speech prepared. She's been preparing a lot of exercise, a lot of dietary restrictions that she has to take into place. Because when you're on that kind of stage, you gotta be looking right. And you can see a picture that her and I took. actually on it's going to be going on studio110.live, but you can also follow me on my Instagram, Dirty Harry 206, Dirty_Harry_206. Where I'm from, what I represent. Got a whole bunch of great pictures up there. What else do we got? What else do we have to talk about? Always things to be talking about. We got the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons, a comedy show. That's going to be coming up here. We're going to be getting Bill Bellamy to be coming on the show, and D-Ray, and Dion, and Ada, and Marlon, and the whole crew here. So that'll be good to get them in the studio and to call in, because who doesn't want to laugh? Who doesn't want to laugh, and who doesn't want to be part of a great comedy show coming up here in the Northwest? What else do we got? We actually have a couple other upcoming events with Studio110.live that we'll be talking about. So that'll be good. And let's get Erica here on the mic real quick to tell me where my next in studio guests are, because they were supposed to. I know they're running late. Are they still running late? They're still running late. Okay, they're still running late.
Apparently, there's a lot of traffic right now, so
they didn't leave 3 hours early like guests are supposed to. So
nope, they're running late.
Well, they're lucky that they're still going to have the opportunity to be here, because everybody knows when I'm all about time management. When you say you're going to be here on time, you better be here on time. This is a live radio show. And I could easily land the plane right now if I wanted to, but we're going to stay on. Let's real quick here. Let's talk about your weekend. I know you went on a camping trip this weekend, correct?
Yeah, I went to Eastern Washington down in Moses Lake, and it was really nice. It was very peaceful, and I just got to get away from everything and kind of just put work just away for a little bit, and it was really nice.
And what did you talk about it? So, like, where were you? And you did the classic barbecuing, sleep in a tent. What'd you do?
I have property down in Eastern Washington, Moses Lake, and so we went down to my family's house down there and just kind of had a nice little weekend getaway, and just really, really chill. It was really relaxing, but it kind of sucked because we had a 5-hour drive back.
Really?
It was bad. We left at I want to say 5 o'clock and got back around 10. Wow. It was bad. It was horrible traffic coming back.
Now, you mentioned that someone that's close to you has a pit bull, has a dog. Was this dog there too, or did this dog stay back?
This dog came.
So I want to talk about this for a second. A lot of people are scared of pit bulls.
Yes.
A lot of people purposely go on the other side of the crosswalk when they're crossing the street because they don't like pit bulls. We happen to have one of the members of the team here has a pit bull. That's actually the world's nicest dog. It wouldn't even hurt a fly. And but I mean, I did it. The first time when you're around a pit bull, you're not going to just go up and start playing with the dog. But so is this pit bull that we're talking about right now as nice as Marsha?
Yes, absolutely.
Or the type that could actually rip someone's neck off?
No. Okay. I think people really get the wrong idea about pit bulls because, I mean, any dog really has, I guess, the possibility to rip your face apart, quote, quote. But it's not like they're actually going to do it. It's kind of like, Harris, it's kind of like if I wanted to hurt you, I could do that.
No. But wouldn't it be a smart thing to do?
No, but if you wanted to hurt me, you could do that. Like, anybody can do whatever they want, It's just a matter of kind of people get this wrong assumption because they hear all these crazy stories and, pit bulls have that kind of overall protective kind of image, that they're supposed to protect their owner and really shield them and stuff. But no, Mikey's a good boy.
Okay, good.
He's a sweetie. He's definitely a sweetie. Yeah.
What else happened this weekend? Anything else? I touched on the event that took place here for Abigail. We wish her all the best to hopefully bring back the crown and the title of Miss USA. Hopefully that'll happen. If I was the deciding judge on that, it already would have been set in stone. But I'm not. Yeah. But hopefully everybody down in Louisiana will be nice and allow Abigail to be the next Miss USA. So yeah. And the world should realize that. And she's got a huge career on deck. Regardless of whatever the outcome is, but we do wish her all the best. Anything else fun happened this weekend, or was this really kind of a chill camping weekend? It
was a very, very chill camping weekend. Okay. I was really happy that it was so chill.
There you go. How was the food?
Hot
hot dogs, roasting marshmallows, doing the true camping, or was
The
it?
food was basic. It was pretty basic. I mean, for like Cinco de Mayo, we had like tacos and some tequila. So that was like your typical Cinco de Mayo. But the next day, we're like, we gotta eat healthy and be active, and so. And it was kind of funny because yesterday was actually International Non-Diet Day.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so I was like munching in the snacks in the car, and I was like, oh, I should not be. And then I looked at the filters on. I was like, oh, well, this is an excuse. It's International Non-Diet Day. I'm gonna keep eating them.
There you go. Any news when I can expect the next in studio guest here, or are they like miles and miles away? Should we?
Well, my phone is in my purse, which the guest that I was giving this to is standing outside the door.
Oh, they're in the green room. Okay, so they might be downstairs right now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get back to doing that, and I will continue to do what I do so well out here at Studio 110.live. Coming into us here, Paris Hilton. Dressed to slay at hackers' hearing. Paris Hilton's done stashing her apparently nude photos on iCloud. She made that declaration on her way into the sentencing of the women who hacked her and her private pics, along with more than $100,000. One thing that's for sure is Paris made one hell of an entrance, and we'll see if we can get this picture up. You can define it any way you want, but her courtroom attire, a lot of people are saying, caused a lot of frenzy outside of the courthouse. What else is in music news here today that we can talk about? Shout out to Meek Mill, man. Meek Mill just finished serving up some time in prison, and he celebrated his 31st birthday. Yesterday, actually in Miami, surrounded by friends, including David Grutman, and that went down at Kamado, and he was in town recording some new music. And looking at this cake, it's definitely a nice cake. So shout out to Meek Mill for doing his thing. What else do we got? Kim Kardashian drew some inspiration for her new lingerie from a place outside of Hollywood. And she's excited to do this partnership, and the companies that Kim ultimately is working with has kind of put out some styles that she feels that she can relate to, and her fan base can relate to. And the plan is to brand her line with the name, which is called. Let's see, the name is called. They're not even giving us the name here. It's called. Kimoto Intimates is what it's called. Kimoto Intimates is what they're calling it, and there'll be nightgowns and pasties and leotards and socks and among other things. And she really wasted no time getting back into the fashion business after closing Dash, and she teamed up with the group behind Chloe's successful Good American brand as well, called Frame. So. Excited for what, and I'm sure a lot of gals who follow Kim are excited to see what she puts out, and we'll see where we can maybe send people here to locally to be able to come out and support good old Kim Kardashian's new clothing brand, or new clothing and lingerie brand. Ryan Seacrest. Was actually out and about in Venice over the weekend, and it was actually turned out to be quite the weekend. He was walking around with his latest his gal Shayna Taylor. They were shopping and they were eating in Venice, and they just actually jetted earlier that morning from New York City for his little $10 million weekend gig. Little $10 million weekend gig, and so you can see them. We'll see if we can get also this picture up, and it's that you just can't miss them. When Ryan Seacrest and his girl walk down the street, of course the paparazzi are going to be there, and they're going to normally depending on his mood, from what I've heard. He takes pictures and he signs autographs. So all the best to good old Ryan and his gal. Dr. Dre is still Dre, but same goes for the OB-GYN with a very similar name, who was locked in a legal battle for years with the music mogul. Dr. Dre, spelled D-R-A-I, and of course Dre is D-R-E, is a Pennsylvania-based doctor, filed in 2015 to trademark his name, and Dr. Dre, OB-GYN, and media personality. Dr. Dre tried to pump the brakes on that application, claiming it would cause confusion in the marketplace since their names sound alike. They sound extremely alike. The doctor, born Drayan M. Birch, but according to his application, he's been going by Dr. Dre for years. He's authored books and makes public appearances by using it. The trademark office agreed with the medical doc, saying although the gangsta doc, is the way they put it, was well known, there wasn't enough evidence people would be ultimately confused. So they're coming out and saying, let's just be honest, no one's downloading the Chronic from a doctor, although it sounds like there should be a slot for that. Point being, the case has been dismissed. Glad to hear that for Dr. Dre. None of these artists need any more stress, especially when he's working so hard to get his new album out that we've been waiting for years. And speaking of Dr. Dre's new album, so something that's actually really cool is my guy, my favorite producer, my favorite beat maker, DJ Battlecat, was recently up here in Seattle and working on Dr. Dre's new album. So he told me he couldn't release too many details about it, but I'm told that, man, it's definitely going to be the album. And my guy who was on there with me also last week, Vitamin D, a well-known producer up here in the Northwest, told me that Aftermath, Dre's representation, they're up here all the time. And that's just one cool thing about the Northwest that people don't realize is these music execs, they're up here. So if you're an artist and you're trying to, build your platform or your stage set, and you're like in an open mic spot, or you're, at a show with other artists, you never know who's going to be in the crowd. You never know. So that's why you always got to perfect the stage set. You got to perfect your sound, your vibes, your energy, because there could be an A&R guy there from Aftermath that could change your life forever. So that's what I'm always telling these artists, that you just got to be doing that. So once again, shout out to Dr. Dre, and super excited to be able to hear that album and play some tracks. And I want to get Battlecat on the air here soon to talk about. Maybe we'll be able to get some stuff for him to talk about. Let's also talk about the icons of comedy. Let's get the flyer here. We got the icons of comedy. We got Marlon Wayans coming. We got Ada Rodriguez, Dion Cole, D-Ray Davis, Bill Bellamy, Melanie Camacho. It's definitely going to be going down. It was scheduled for June 30th. We've pushed it back now to August 11th. We wanted to, we're going to just with a couple more surprises that'll be into play for our big comedy show. So we're excited to make those announcements when we get the green light to do it. So we did it for a reason. So now it'll be August 11th. Once again, we got Melanie Camacho, Bill Bellamy, D-Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans. And that's, of course, brought to you by CMP Entertainment. And tickets will be available, and they are available at the Accesso Shower Center. You can call 253-856-6777. So that's going to be a great show that you're just not going to want to miss. You're going to definitely want to come out and have some fun with us for that big event. Let's see what else is brewing here on the forefront. If there's anything else that we need to be talking about here before we hopefully get our next in-studio guest here. And if not, I may even sign off a little bit early today to handle some other business. I don't want to have to do that, but we may have to do that. Speaking of our comedy jam, my guy Bill Bellamy is in news here, and always for a good reason. He's got some fun things that he's working on, some upcoming comedy shows and some movies. So that's one more reason why we'll have to get Bill to call in. And man, Bill is the guy. I had no idea. This was news to me until I was in Los Angeles, about a month ago, whatever it was, that Bill Bellamy and Shaquille O'Neal are related. Makes sense, because got invited to Shaquille O'Neal's private birthday party. It was during All-Star Weekend. Walking in, got a big table there, kind of in the VIP section, and all of a sudden, a few minutes, goes on in the night, and I get a tap on the shoulder, and Shaquille O'Neal's standing there, and I moved over to make enough room for him, and we're all sitting together. Shaquille O'Neal, myself, Bill Bellamy, my guy Cristiano and Pierre from CMP Entertainment, and O'Kara Banks, who flew up here also a few weeks back to come up and join me here at Studio 110.live. Definitely a really cool gal doing so much in the fashion business in Los Angeles. She's got her pop-up shop. She's got her brand. She does also a radio podcast show in Rick D's studio, the legend Rick D, someone who I've always looked up to. So man, that was just a great event, just a great networking event, opportunity to make new friends. So I wish nothing but success for O'Kara. I know O'Kara watches the show all the time, and we got Melanie Camacho, we got Bill Bellamy, we got D. Ray Davis, we got Dion Cole, we got Ada Rodriguez, we got Marlon Waynes. It's going to be happening August 11th, the Icons of Comedy. And then, of course, my guys that were just on the air with me from Zima Marketing, Ben and Nick, they're just so cool, man. These guys just stepped up to the plate. They got these tickets for this big festival, $1,000 plus. $1,000 plus that someone out there can win. You just got to do a few things. You just got to go to our show's Instagram, studio110.live, and follow us on there and see all the pictures and all the videos. Everybody that's been in here, my guy Josh on the Deadliest Catch, O'Kara. We've had. I'm not going to start listing off names because then you know what? What's going to happen is my phone's going to blow up when I get off there at 3 o'clock, and they're going to say, "Oh, Dirty Harry, you forgot me. I mean, they're just going to poke fun and have fun. Of course, they're not going to be serious about it, but I don't want to be disrespectful. So there's been a lot of guests that have been coming through the show. That's been a great show. I've learned so much. I've had the opportunity to help a lot of people out. And speaking of helping people out, man, KJ Saka, I mentioned this earlier in the show, but him and I had an opportunity to meet up for lunch. And he told me, man, he said, Dirty Harry, I got to tell you, man, your show really helped me out. Pack the place out there at the venue that he performed at Stage this past Friday night. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I heard it was a great show, and I heard the city just came out to support our guy here, KJ Saka, and it was just, I only heard great things. But you can just see the power of, when you got the artist, the man, coming out and telling me, those direct words that the show really helped him do his thing, then I was very happy to hear that, and I want to continue to help him out in any way I possibly can. That's what I want to do for all these guys. I've been having so many people reach out, local artists that want to come in here and be able to have their song be played, to be able to have the platform, because I'll tell you, there's no other platforms. I'm a Pacific Northwest based guy. And there's no other platforms here where you can really have the opportunity to come in and, be able to get to know these guys, be able to play their music, be able to support them. And if there are other platforms that I don't know about, man, reach out to me, because I'm all about it. Come on in. We can talk about theirs, and we can do some co-branding, and we could do some maybe even some co-producing. So I'm all about giving back and helping people out. And that's on the fashion side. That's on the music side. On the nightlife side, on the tech side, on the food side. So I'm very excited to continue all these exciting partnerships. Shout out to my guy, Justin Brotman. Justin Brotman and I are meeting tomorrow morning to discuss some business. So excited to hear what he's got up his sleeve. And shout out to all the people, man, that have been reaching out, that want to be part of Studio 110.live. And it's a good feeling to know that people are supporting, and they're all about the movement. They're all about the movement, because podcasts are where it's at. I'm not playing commercials, because who wants to hear commercials? Who wants to hear all these commercials in your car when, of course, you could be enjoying yourself? You could be, listening to great artists. You could be listening to great music. You could be listening to great fashion people, and you could really be doing and providing good radio and good content when you're listening to just commercials and other things. So that's why we're doing what we're doing here at Studio110.live. Shout out again to my guy who was on the air with me, of course, Ben and Nick from Zima Marketing, and Alex from Sean and Xander. They were on the 1 o'clock hour. out of Phoenix, Arizona. Man, stay cool down there. I know they're watching and listening right now to the big show, and I feel for you guys. I mean, I know Phoenix is a great spot, but I just couldn't handle being around 110 degrees every day of the week, and just I gotta have the rainy days. I gotta have the overcast skies. I gotta have the gray, just to keep it all keep it all functional. I'm definitely not one of those types of people that you will ever see investing in one of those lights that people have to buy, one of those sun lights that people have to buy to create happiness for themselves. Nothing against those, but I like those overcast gray days because that's the Northwest, and I'm a Northwest based guy. So hopefully our next guests, I don't know. I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset because if you're coming on this big show, Studio 110.live, you got to make the appropriate amount of time to be here on time, and showing up 40 minutes late ain't cutting it with me. So we may sign off for the day, and these guys can find another time to come back in the studio when they're going to be on time, and we'll see if we get them back in again. But they should have been here on time. They should have been here an hour ago, but I guess they were stuck in some sort of traffic. And I get that things come up, but that's why you got to plan accordingly, guys. It's all about time management. You got somewhere to be, you leave 2 hours early. Traffic is getting crazy around here in the Northwest. They're saying our traffic here is like LA traffic, where you could be sitting in it for a long time. But if you know what you're doing and you plan accordingly, you'll be all right. So that's definitely something that I'm always telling my friends that to do. Shout out to my guy Roger, listening to the big show right now. Shout out to my guy Brandon at Chuck's, my guy that they always take care of me for all my car needs. And who else, man? Who else do I got? I got my guy Sam. Looking forward to your birthday party, bro. Got my buddy Josh, Eric. Man, so many people. So with that being said, we're going to sign off a little bit early today, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have some more great guests. I know we have some big guests coming in this week, so super excited about that. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and we're gonna back away from the gate here. The pilot can't wait forever. If you're late to board, then you miss the flight, and you'll have to catch the next one to wherever your final destination is. And the final destination here is Primetime Radio, Primetime Podcast. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Thanks to all the guests that were with me this afternoon, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow, seeing you tomorrow, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Good night.